In this week's episode, I'm in Mauritius and I went to their central market, their local fresh produce market in Port Louis, to give you more insights into the working of their fresh produce markets. So make sure to not miss this episode.
So let's talk about the elephant in the room. Kom ons kyk bietjie wat gebeur op die mark. As my kyk na the past week that we saw prices mostly
Welcome to this week's AMT Fresh Produce Outlook on the markets. I'm Johnny and we'll keep you up to date with the latest trends in these markets. The past week we saw potato prices increasing by approximately 2% with the latest price on R30.88. This price is also 2% lower compared to the long-term average, while volumes are currently approximately 5% higher compared to the long-term average for the 25th week of each year. The tomato prices decreased by 23% with the latest price on R5.38. Carrot prices decreased by 9% to R2.29 per kilogram, while onion prices continued its upward trend by 4% with the latest price on R5.25. We also saw garlic prices decreasing, while spinach prices increased by 82% with the latest price on R3.66 per kilogram. This was a very interesting development with volumes that drastically decreased the past week as well. This price is currently on level pass in terms of the long-term average price, with volumes that is currently 25% lower compared to the long-term average. Hence pushing some prices upwards. When we look into the fruit industry, we saw the banana prices increasing by 2% with the latest price on R6.68 per kilogram, while apple prices remained relatively stable on R6.81. Orange prices continued its downward trend with an approximate 5% decrease in the price to R2.41, while avo prices decreased by 57% and is currently on R6.14 per kilogram. Grape prices are extremely high at the moment due to very low volumes on the local markets and the market that is currently much more import orientated. Pear prices remained relatively stable as well on R6.87 per kilogram the past week. As mentioned, I went to the fresh produce market in Mauritius this week and with some interesting development in these markets, so make sure to stay tuned.
I'm at the Mauritius Fresh Produce Market today. I just talked to the Chief Health Inspector, which was a very interesting interview that we had, and he assured me that this market is growing and is really healthy. They're in the process of revamping the whole market as it is a really important lifeline for the local producers, your smaller producers, which is of course a very important market for the South African producers as well. A lot of their produce come from the local producers that's in and around the city, really small plots that is supplying this market, and is really interesting. The products here are of really good quality, and the Chief Inspector also said that these producers also buy with their eyes, and it's really an interesting concept. They assured me that it's the middle class, the low to middle class producers that is buying on this market, with the supermarkets that's I think becoming more evident into these fresh produce markets. However, a big drive of them is to protect their local consumers and their local producers with relatively stable prices. So the main thing that I experienced from the interview was that they fix prices to a certain extent, and they manipulate prices by importing certain products that is very scarce on the markets at specific moments, and in the process protecting the producers from too low prices, as well as stopping high food inflation by fixing prices and not let prices get out of hand. So it's a really interesting concept. I however believe that supermarkets will start to play a bigger role in these markets as it's becoming more convenient and easier. But they assured me that this market is healthy, it's growing, and it's really an interesting concept that they're doing at the moment.
So let's talk about the elephant in the room. Kom ons kyk bietjie wat gebeur op die mark. As my kyk na the past week that we saw prices mostly